Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Coffee in hand, keep the coffee away for the new top because that could be the disaster. Getting coffee spilt in the brand new Celtic is nice, isn't it? It is nice, I'm liking it. And as you know, it'll probably be one of the only times I do wear this top. I might wear it one or twice during the season, but that'll be it. It'll get hung up in the cupboard beside the other 35 tops or whatever it is that we do have in the collection. Yes. Anyway, it's game day. It's flag day, more importantly. Make sure that you do get to Celtic Park early. And there's some interesting headlines going on this morning. Obviously, Hugh Keevins loves to have a little bit of a dig at Celtic. I'm hearing coded messages with Celtic not winning this would be a grotesque example of complacency. And we don't need Hugh Keevins to have another dig at us in the media the way that he does do all the time. But yeah, that's as far as I'm going to go. There's an interesting one from an interesting article about Magic Johnston's Midas touch. Don't worry, it's not Mikey Johnston, it's Alistair Johnston. And they're saying that Mikey... Jesus Christ. Oh, right, it is game day. Magic Johnston's Midas touch whirlwind is nothing short of phenomenal. Good things that come to those who wait is the old adage. Someone that really need to relay that message to this is the Celtic football fullback, Alistair Johnston, a man whose winning streak over the last 18 months has delivered more than a trending Google search. And as fate would have it, the global search engine played an integral role in the Canadian's phenomenal life this summer. When he was browsing for a romantic spots for suitable, proposing the question to his girlfriend. Yeah, and it goes on. He done it in Scotland. But anyway, of course you would do it in Scotland. It's a beautiful country, and you're going to do things like that in a beautiful country. And that's basically been talking about that. But what a player! You think about it. He's 25-year-old. His career hasn't been too bad. Reaching the semi-final of the Copa America with Canada wasn't enough this summer. He was named in the team beside some fantastic players. And on the domestic front, he's won 5 trophies since moving to Glasgow. 5 trophies since moving to Glasgow. And when you think about that, that's more than half the Rangers team put together. Anyway, good things that come to wait, said Johnson is idomanic. Anyway, it says lots of good stuff about him. One player that didn't get a lot of good love yesterday and didn't get a lot of good love at all was Adam Idah. Yes, Adam Idah was booed by Norwich fans during the side's 3-1 defeat to St. Pauli at Carrow Road yesterday. Yeah, he was booed after the match. He was booed off the pitch. He didn't even go into the pitch to say goodbye to the fans. He just snuck up the tunnel, it says. But where does that leave Adam Idah? Celtic are obviously wanting the player. They put in a bid for 4.5 million. Well, they thought that would be more than enough to get the player. But it's saying that the Canaries are wanting 9 million. 9 million, and I don't think he's a £9 million player, and I just think that they're chancing their luck. They know that Celtic are boasting about the fact, and this is what happens when you boast about having the best part of 100 million in the bank in your financials this year. Adam Idah is going to be, oh, that's fantastic. A wee Edinburgh cow. Fridge magnet, just what I always wanted. You've got toothpaste on your top lip. Bye. Cheerio. She knows I'm recording, but anyway, hey ho, she's back. Anyway, what will happen with Adam Idah? There can only be one outcome, and as it gets closer to the end of the transfer window, they will buckle and sell him on. I mean, if it's going to take 6.5 million, so be it. But Celtic just need to put the offer on the table and get it done and dusted. And if they don't, well, we move on. It is simple as that. Now, we do play Kilmarnock today. It is game day. It is flag day. Celtic did say, make sure that you get there early because there's going to be lots of face painting and stuff like that. It's going to be fantastic. We paid the face painter as well. We have already paid the face painter. It's going to be fantastic. Another flag day for Brendan Rodgers. And if you've seen the community post this morning, go into the community tab because it has a picture of Brendan Rodgers and every manager from the team across the city that has tried but failed. Yes, They came, they saw, and they all snuck out the back door. Yes, they did. And they'll take some kind of glorification the fact that they got the 55 and they stopped at 10. Well, we're on the road again, and we're on the road to number 4. Can Celtic do? Can we even start thinking the unthinkable? No, we can't, can we? Let's just get number 4 done first, and then we could start just winding them up. But if Celtic go in the same trajectory as we did before, it'll only take a few years before we start talking about another 9. But I predict that there'll be massive changes in Scottish football by then to try and derail Celtic once again. Because let's face it, that's all that the SFA want to do, giving their little friends a helping hand now. And one other thing is going to the shorts video. And there was a shorts video that I put up of our top referee, their head of referee. And in that short, and he talks about, and this was an actual conversation that was had with the media just last week. And he said that he'd had an interesting conversation with the Rangers manager about VAR and about things. And then it's funny that an obvious handball that was given all season last year wasn't given yesterday. But enough about them. It's all going to be about Celtic, and it is about the team that starts today. And now we're going to give you a prediction for the team. Alistair Johnston, will he start in place of Tony Ralston? Alistair Johnston is in the building. His fitness after the summer must be fantastic. But does Tony Ralston get the nod? It's a hard one. It is F Day, Flag Day. I think Greg Taylor will be in the building also. Greg Taylor will be on the other side. I think Tony Ralston might get the nod just before Alistair Johnston because he's had that pre-season. But, I mean, who had the better tournament? Tony Ralston was ripped apart in the Euros, whilst Alistair Johnston had a fantastic time and was named player and one of the player of the tournament. Anyway, going to have Cameron Carter-Vickers and Liam Scales, and let's not knock Liam Scales for what Liam Scales did last season. He was ready at this point of the season. Last season, he thought he was going to be leaving Celtic, and he was thrust into the limelight due to the massive injuries that we had. And we forget this. We do forget this. But some of us predicted that Scales would be there with Cameron Carter-Vickers come the end of the season, and I was right. And he had a fantastic season, but he's still not Champions League level, and I think we do need someone a little bit better for Champions League. And let's be honest, I mean, he is a great player. He's a cracking lad. He wants to play for us. You know, he done really well last season. But as a team, we need to keep moving forward. Anyway, I think it'll be Scales, Carter-Vickers, Tony Ralston, and Greg Taylor at the back. And your midfield picks itself, doesn't it? One and only Callum McGregor, Rio Hatate, and Matt O'Reilly. It's normal. It's like a team from last year, really. Lewis Palma and Nico Kuhn on the wing, because I think Dyson's still got a bit of a sore knee. And Nico Kuhn is fully fit after having that little injury during the summer pre-season tour. Talking about the pre-season tour, before we get on to the striker, who's going to be Kyogo Furuhashi, because we only have the one striker. It was interesting that today Chelsea have been named as a team that are interested in the one and only Matt O'Reilly. Now, Chelsea, they were within 6 minutes or something of the game, they played Manchester United last night in America. And I was in the pub and I watched the first 10, 15, I watched the first 20 minutes or something. And then Chelsea were 2-0 down. Chelsea were 2-0 down to Man City. So just put that into perspective, and people will say, oh, it was a young kid team and Man City put out and it was freaking this. Well, Celtic beat both of them during the summer. And I'm going to take the positives. I don't care if it's pre-season. You have to take the positives out the way that Brendan has actually got the team playing. And Brendan even came out and says one of the opposing players that he had trained sitting on the bench saying that's a Brendan team. They're playing a Brendan type of football. They're playing the way that Brendan wants football played. I want us all to get behind back the team. We all can have our thoughts about the board. That's for another day. It won't go away just yet. Let's just hope the board get their finger out and get everything done and dusted in the next couple of weeks, because there is only 4 weeks of the transfer window. Tell me what you think about that starting 11. Obviously, Schmeichel in goals, Ralston, Carter-Vickers, Scales, Greg Taylor. It's the same team as last season, apart from the goalkeeper. It'll be interesting to see who comes on the bench, goalkeeper-wise. Will Scott Bain get on the bench? Because let's face it, he was the go-to second choice goalkeeper for the whole of last season. And I think that it'll be only right because it's Flag Day, that he gets the nod for that game. And then I think he'll be pushed off the bench, funnily enough. He'll be pushed off the bench for our young Finnish keeper that is the long-term replacement for the one and only Kasper Schmeichel. I said Peter earlier, didn't I? Did I say Peter? I can't remember. It's too early in the morning. It's Sunday. Oh, it is Sunday. Anyway, tell me what you think the score will be today. I think it could be... It's either going to want to go one or two ways. I mean, people are saying, look at the goals that were scored during pre-season. Pre-season games, yeah, it's fine, but the teams weren't sitting with a low block. Let's face it. They weren't sitting with the anti-football. They weren't sitting with 4, 5, 6 at the back, as I expect teams to play today. The Kilmarnock to play today. And they will sit deep, and they'll try and hit us on the break. That's what they'll try and do. And it'll just be a case of same old, won't it? It's only going to finish one way, and it'll be able to Celtic win. Although there could be that little bit of revenge factor from the Celtic team, because a lot of these players will remember last season, and they'll remember the fact that Kelly, at first chance and first opportunity, put us out the cup. I don't think Hibs will do the same this season. I think we're far too better, and we're far too together as a squad and a team this season. It was all new last season, and some of the players did want away last season, but some of them didn't get to leave because Brendan Rodgers talked them round. All we ask is the board, and all Brendan asks is, let's get some players in, and let's get this party started. Let's get the party started. It's going to be a long season ahead. Another fantastic football season is in front of us until we get to the cold, dark winter nights. And then I feel for the fans sitting in fucking -5 on a Wednesday night in December and January. I've been there and I've done it myself. And there's nothing worse than sitting up the back of 1-1-1 on a freezing cold Wednesday night at the end of December when it was -10. Remember that game? And it was absolutely Baltic. And you're sitting on those plastic seats and you're like, fucking what's wrong with my life? And it's that cold that you can't even get up to cheer for Celtic score, and you're like, we're playing shite today. Anyway, I hope you have a fantastic day. Tell me in the comment section where you'll be watching the game today. If you are not going to the game, if you are going to the game, stay safe. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe. Of course you're going to be safe. It's Celtic Park. And enjoy the day. Get as many pictures as you can up on social media. Tag me on Instagram, and let's get this party started. And on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party.